Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over the price of Bitcoin. But I'm gonna be giving you all the details when it comes to all the drama unfolding here in the cryptocurrency space. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible and so that it's time efficient, so that you're in the loop, that you know what's going on and what we can anticipate moving forward. I wanna first start by saying, don't confuse my rant video from yesterday with my opinion on Bitcoin. What's going on in the crypto space is not like changing my opinion on Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form. That is not the case. I am more frustrated with the bad actors that have basically just printed their own coins at this point and have really turned things upside down. I want to also make it very clear that technically the drama is unfolding with FTX, which is separate from FTX US. But at the end of the day, there is no reason to trust FTX US, and if I were you, I would have already gotten my funds off of the platform, and not just FTX, every other exchange out there. It is not worth it to have any Bitcoin or other coins on exchanges at this time. Get them off. Okay, so basically Binance is doing due diligence to figure out, is this deal worth it? Does this make sense? Because if the hole in the balance sheet is so large that it doesn't make sense to basically acquire FTX and gain those customers, then Binance will just move on. And with what we saw CZ tweet over the last few days is that basically FTX did some things that really pissed him off, because by just some tweets that he tweeted out, he completely tanked the price of FTT, which is the token of FTX. And so he brought it down. He brought down FTX. So to go and then buy a company that you basically tarnished, it doesn't matter how severe it is, he really took a major stab at FTX. So right now it's looking like the deal is probably not going to go through, which has brought down the price significantly more. Bitcoin is sitting at $16,750. We're going to be getting into the price, but I first want to go over all of these details right now. And I'm going to be letting you know if I have purchased some Bitcoin yet. So we also know that Binance has basically this like insurance fund, but it was basically drained over the last 10 months. They since say that they have chopped it off to $1 billion, but if the insurance policy basically has Bitcoin and Ethereum and other coins in it, and those prices continue to drop, then the insurance fund will continue to decline. So we also saw Brian Armstrong, the Coinbase CEO, come out with the thread on Twitter, basically, saying that things are okay at Coinbase. We've also heard shady things about Coinbase. It's not worth it to have any of your funds on there. But this is what's really interesting, is that Coinbase actually had the opportunity to take a look at FTX and buy them out, and they said no thank you. FTX also ran to Wall Street asking for $1 billion, and it looks like that they didn't really get anything accomplished there. So I spoke yesterday about the Alameda Research financial documents being leaked. And so what was the discrepancy seen there? The discrepancy seen there was basically that they had, I think, 15 billion on the balance sheet. But the problem, maybe 14.8 billion. Okay, but the problem was 8 billion of that was FTT tokens, but the market cap of FTT tokens was only like 2-point-something billion. So a huge hole in the Alameda Research. So another thing that could have potentially pissed off the Binance CEO, CZ, was that Sam, who is basically intertwined, he owns FTX, but there's also a connection with Alameda Research, he was spending millions of dollars lobbying, and whatever he was lobbying for, I don't understand those details exactly, but it was going to benefit only FTX, and it was totally going to be a detrimental situation for other exchanges. He was basically lobbying for some policy that was only going to benefit FTX. It would have kind of thrown all other exchanges under the bus. So is the price going to go lower? Don't forget, you guys, we have CPI numbers coming out tomorrow. So we're going to get more information when it comes to CPI numbers, CPI data, inflation, where's it at? And so as we've seen in the previous announcements, it's typically not looked that good for Bitcoin pricing after the CPI announcements. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. The price just continues to drop, and it's kind of just been a slow bleed this morning. So I just want to kind of put things into perspective. Why do we keep on putting these people on pedestals? It reminds me of the Theranos founder, Elizabeth Holmes, and just all these like bad actors. And for some reason, like, I don't know if it's how they brand themselves, but people just eat it up. And they put these people on pedestals. And I never really understood the whole FTX thing. I think I created an FTX account. I never traded on FTX or recommended it. You know what? I thought there were some red flags because I'm like, why is FTX blowing up so quickly? It is technically a new exchange versus like Binance, which has been around forever. And then I saw, the FTX logo on the umpires' uniforms in MLB. We saw FTX, I believe they had a Super Bowl commercial. And then the Binance CEO quickly, or like after the Super Bowl came out and said like, hey, it was really hard to turn it down having a Super Bowl ad, but it was just the right thing to do. So, and then like FTX was constantly sponsoring like really big YouTubers, and I don't know, things just like spending wise seemed a little bit off from my perspective. And so I'm like not like super surprised. Like I had already like some skepticism around FTX and just how much they were spending from a marketing perspective. So before we move forward, I want to mention iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital is where you can get yourself a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. You can actually purchase Bitcoin within your iTrust Capital account. If you use my link down below and you sign up, you actually get $100 in free Bitcoin. This is what's really cool. You can trade within your account, and it's a non-taxable event. And this is like the best time, one of the best times to get your iTrust Capital account going because the price of Bitcoin is low. And imagine purchasing Bitcoin now and withdrawing it when you're 59 and a half and not having to pay any taxes on it. Really should look into iTrust Capital. You can also buy precious metals as well as other coins. So really quickly here, before we get back into Bitcoin, the price, which is now $16,679, it's continuously dropping this morning. Like this is no joke, but for me, I've been in cash for months and I anticipated the bottom to not be in, and I anticipated it correctly. So most people thought that I was crazy for selling Bitcoin a few months back, but I just didn't believe the bottom was in. I didn't buy it. And so I am looking for a capitulation moment. I have buy order set, but nothing has triggered yet. So I'm gonna go over a few tweets here that I saw that I found to be interesting, should share with you. Reports indicate Coinbase projected a bid to buy out rival exchange FTX, while Binance too now shows concern. So this is what's also crazy, and another reminder to get your funds off of exchanges, please, you guys, as soon as possible. Nexo withdraws $219.4 million worth of funds from FTX just as a liquidity crisis begins. Okay, so what we're learning is it's just like a house of cards and everything is falling, and you just don't know where the interconnections lie of who has equity in what business. Like we know that CZ, like Binance has a stake in FTX. Part of the liquidity deal was having all these FTT tokens. Therefore, there's a lot of interconnection between all of these big players in the cryptocurrency space. And there's a lot of shady players. And so I'm surprised Nexo hasn't fallen yet, but I think they easily can if the price of Bitcoin continues to drop. So get your funds off Nexo. So FTX, they sought out the $1 billion bailout from Silicon Valley and Wall Street billionaires just hours before the Binance announcement. Also, excuse me, U.S. probes FTX empire over handling of client funds and lending. And then also, can't forget the CPI numbers are coming out tomorrow. So yeah, U.S. Financial regulators are investigating the relationship between FTX and Alameda. So they are diving in. Bitcoin sitting $16,677. Look at the weekly chart. As I mentioned before, the weekly chart was looking quite close to making a run and showing some strength. And I was really considering getting in above 21,000, but the way the Bitcoin behaved, just lingering above 21,000, it really didn't interest me. And so I did not re-enter a position. But as you can see here, the weekly chart has turned bearish, making a lower low. Let's look at the daily chart here. Yeah, daily chart not looking good. I mean, Bitcoin is slowly bleeding this morning. I want to see some capitulation. So I have orders set at 14,000, at 13,000, all the way down to $8,000. So this is the thing is, well, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Stay tuned. So 12-hour chart, these charts, I mean, not even the thought, we're not seeing any strength anywhere in Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin down 10%, Ethereum down to under $1,200, $1,170, down 12% today. We are seeing, Core Scientific to 12 cents. We're seeing BNB to 281, Coinbase stock down to $45. Okay, we have HNT sitting at 279, Link down 17% on the day at $6.38. Celsius coin is taking a big hit at 63 cents. Nexo coin is also taking a big hit. So, I mean, everything is just looking pretty terrible. This is the FTT coin. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We obviously know that it fell pretty dramatically. It kind of ran up a little bit yesterday to just under $5, but it is down. It has made a lower low from yesterday, currently sitting at $3 even. Unfortunately, I wanted the price of Bitcoin to drop because, as you guys know, I was in cash and I'm just waiting to buy this up. Bitcoin now sitting at $16,600. Okay, so this is what I want to show you guys. Back after Bitcoin hit, let's go ahead and take a look here. After Bitcoin hit $20,000, okay, let's go ahead and look at that buying opportunity that came in. Okay, so Bitcoin hits the all-time high back in 2017. Let's get an exact date on here because this is actually really quite interesting. So if you look here, this is Sunday, December 17th. And then when you basically look at December 17th, 1 year later, that is when a massive buying opportunity came in on a Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and see here, zoom in to, so yeah, as you can see here, this was an amazing buying opportunity. Bitcoin had a nice little run up there. And then, more buying opportunities actually came over the coming months. So about a year later is when that really great buying opportunity came in. As I've been mentioning to you guys, just to kind of keep a close eye on that 1 year mark from the previous all-time high, when Bitcoin hit $69,000 over here. That came in on November 10th, and today's the 9th. So will we also see a massive buying opportunity 1 year later from Bitcoin hitting the all-time high? Something to really consider over the next couple of days. Today, tomorrow, the following week, really keep a close eye. Like I told you guys, I told you where I put personally my buy orders, but I might be adjusting those as how the price action plays out here, because I'm just keeping an extremely close eye on everything. So that is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love. And don't forget, if you want to get started with iTrust Capital and get into Bitcoin for your retirement account at these super low levels, the time is now.